Okay, guys, welcome to Lesson 1, Fragments and Complete Sentences. This is going to be Activity 6. So in this lesson, or this activity, we are going to work on figuring out what makes fragments and complete sentences and how to identify them. Okay, so getting started. First thing, what I want you to know is learning about sentences and fragments is super important because it helps you know what is or is not a sentence. So the main idea I want you to take away from this page is this, okay? A sentence, it contains a who or a what, which is called the subject, and a did what or what about, which is called the predicate, okay? Every sentence needs both, along with a few other things on a checklist, okay? So for example, in this sentence here, Lafayette is a city in Louisiana. Your subject is going to be the bold Lafayette. Your predicate is going to be is, okay? Lafayette is the who, is the did what or what about, okay? Next, another important feature, every sentence is a group of words that tells us about someone or something, has a subject and a predicate, which we just went over, expresses a complete thought, begins with a capital letter and ends with a piece of punctuation, which would be a period, question mark, exclamation point. And finally, proper nouns, which are names, places, states, titles, song names, lots of things can be considered proper nouns, are always going to be capitalized. Okay? So this is your basic checklist of what makes a sentence. So what I want you guys to do is pause your video and go ahead over to your Google Slides learning log, which is going to look like this. And I want you to go to the slide labeled Activity 6. Okay? As you can see, I want you to take a minute. You can go and review the video once you've paused. Review what makes sentences and fragments important. Okay? So you're just going to look back over on this slide at what you see here, and I want you to fill in the blanks that are missing. Okay? Next, I want you to take a look at the checklist down here at the bottom. Okay? So what makes a sentence? All right? See all those bullet points? So then what you're going to do is come over to your learning log. All right? And you are going to click on the box. See how it's got a little plus sign? And drag the text box over. Okay? See how I did that? So what I want you to do, there are only 5 correct answers. So I want you to read each of these boxes. Tell me what a sentence is. Okay? There's going to be some incorrects over here. So as you can see, you will not use all of the boxes, only 5 of the boxes. All right? So at this point, I want you to go ahead, pause the video, and I will make sure everything is on the screen so that you can see it. And pause the video so that now you can complete your activity page. Good luck. Great job, guys. I'm really glad that you guys took the time to work with that because it's important to know exactly what a sentence is and what it is not. Okay? There's a few more practice activities that I want you guys to participate in until you're finished with activity 6. You have a second activity to complete in your learning log, but these activities on this Pear Deck slide are going to be just a few practice activities that you can work on with your partner or with your small group that you're working with. Once you've finished these few practice slides, you should be ready to move on to the next activity. So I'll just give you quick instructions on each of these. You can go back and review these if I go too fast. On this slide, you'll have some draggable red dots over here on the right. All you're going to do is drag the red dots to only complete sentences, okay? Complete sentences should get a dot. Incomplete sentences, otherwise known as fragments, do not get a dot. You may not use all of your red dots, okay? Next, in this activity, what I want you to do is identify your subjects in blue. So just draw a line, highlight, use the colors down here in your Pear Deck drawing slide to underline or highlight or circle. Subjects in blue, predicates in red. Okay? Work together with your partner or with your group, and you can always rewind if this was too quick. Next. Now, the next activity is a little bit more complex. Instead of wanting to know if it's a subject, if it's a fragment or a complete sentence, I'm going to go ahead and tell you these are all fragments, okay? Fragments. In this case, what I want to know is the subject what is missing? If it's a subject, I want you to just put a little S over here. If it's a predicate that is missing, put a little P over here. And the next thing you want to do, I want you guys to start getting used to the universal editing rules. So first thing is, whenever a word should be capitalized and it is not capitalized, you are going to put 2 lines underneath it, just like I did right here. So what I want you to do is, if there's anything down here that should be capitalized, go ahead and draw a double red line underneath just the letter that needs to be capitalized. So for example, if Louisiana should be capitalized, you would do that. Okay, that's just a quick example. And finally, I want you to add whatever's missing. So if the subject is missing, quickly use your little text, the little T down at the bottom here. Click on the T. That'll allow you to type in a little text box, which you can then drag, okay? So if you type, let's say down here for New Orleans is hot, okay? So type in is hot and drag your little text box right behind New Orleans so that I know that you understand what's missing, okay? Again, if those directions were too fast, feel free to rewind your video and go ahead and try again. Now, on this next activity, what I want you to do is read the following fragments. Again, yes, fragments. We know they're fragments. So read the fragments aloud and identify what's missing. So again, we're doing the same thing, but this time, one sentence. Okay, guys? Only one sentence. All right? You do not need to do all 3. So pick one of these and practice the skills that we did on the last slide on this one. Tell me, is it an S or a P? And then highlight, do a double red line under anything that should be capitalized, and then add what is missing. And you only need to do that for one sentence. Okay? If those directions is too fast, again, you may rewind and listen again. All right, guys. So finally, now I want you to be able to identify whether a sentence is a sentence or a fragment. Okay? You practiced identifying subjects and predicates. Now tell me what you learned. Are these sentences or fragments? You're going to show me with an S or an F. Okay? S or F. You can pause the video if I'm going too fast. Okay, these are the same 3 sentences. You should have already determined if it was an S or an F. But now I want you to fix the sentences, okay? You don't need to fix all 3. Pick one of the sentences, and using the things that you've learned about capitalization, subjects, and predicates, as well as punctuation, go ahead and fix one of your sentences, okay? If I'm going too fast, you can repeat, but make sure you do at least one and identify what is missing. All right, guys, finally, we've come to the end of activity 6. This is the cardinal rule for all sentence editing. When you are completely finished and you think you have fixed any errors in an incomplete or fragment sentence, you always need to go through and consider this a checklist. So, check for a capital at the beginning of each sentence. Check that proper nouns have been capitalized. Check for punctuation at the end of a sentence. And finally, give it a read. Make sure it's correct and relevant. And finally, make sure it makes sense. Okay? I know you guys got this. If you've gotten through this activity, you're ready for activity 7. I want you to just take a moment, evaluate where you stand now. Were you a little confused at the beginning and now you feel like you're ready to rock? Show me by dragging your blue dot either to the green thumbs up or the red thumbs down. If you need a little bit more help, you can let me know and I will work with you a little bit closer and we'll see if we can't figure out where the problems are. Good luck, guys. Have fun.